Welcome to the 5 for 2 podcast with me, your host Adele, where we say no to careers where you're trading 5 days of misery for 2 days of fun. A place we discuss all things career, confidence, and money moves. I want to motivate, teach, and empower ambitious women to achieve more, earn more, feel more confident, and enjoy the work they do. It's all about believing you can have everything you want in your career and then going and getting it. So if you're ready, let's get into it. Hey everyone, hope you're good. I don't even want to wait. Let's just jump straight into the episode. Affirmations are not just words. This is coming from someone who years ago, not even that many years ago, maybe 5 or 6 years ago, thought affirmations were nonsense. Thought mindset work was okay, but not really a thing. So when I'm talking on this episode, I'm talking from a place of, I didn't believe it at first. But I'm always willing to try something, and seeing is believing. So that's why we're here. And I'm going to break it down for you so that it can connect to your mind the way it connected to mine. The reason I say affirmations are not just words is because, actually, no, let me start here. I'm a strategy girl. I've always been a strategy girl. Do X, do Y, get Z. Simple as that. If you want to get to C, you got to do A and B. Tell me what to do to get a result. That is who I've always been. That is who I am. That is who I will continue to be. I'm a strategy girl, but I am a strategy girl who understands mindset. I'm a strategy girl who realized when you add the mindset to the strategy, oh my gosh, it's like fire. Your results, you speed up your results at lightning speed, 10 times faster than if you just try to strategy your way through. 10 times easier, less burnout, because you believe that you can achieve something, you believe what's possible, and then it becomes possible by implementing the strategy, by doing that action. So when I say that affirmations aren't words, what got me initially into affirmations was I had my first ever coach said to me, you need to do affirmations every day. And I'd done mindset work at least a couple years before that, but I never really was into affirmations. I was like, whatever. But she was like, you need to do affirmations. I want you to do them every day, like brushing your teeth. This is exactly what she said to me. She goes, there shouldn't be a day that you forget to brush your teeth, just like there shouldn't be a day that you forget to do your affirmations. You need to wake up and write these statements out every single day or say them every single day. If not, do both. And I was like, fine, I'm happy to get up and write them down every day. She said, every day like you brush your teeth, wake up, you should be doing your affirmations. She said, I want you to do them for 3 months. I was like, wow, every day for 3 months. Really? And she was like, we're going to pick 5 statements of things that you want to change in your life, 5 things that are really important to you. And I do this exercise, by the way, with all my clients because it is so important. But at the time I was like, all right, I'll do it just because you said to do it. Some days the affirmations made me feel recharged. But a lot of days I was just like, oh, this is such an annoying task. But I did it every single day because I'm the sort of person that's like, if what I'm currently doing isn't working, then I have to try something else. I'm not the type of person that's just like, oh, it's not going to work and I won't try it. I will try it. I will try it to even prove you wrong. I will try it so that I can prove to you it doesn't work. But I will try it and I will do it properly. That's what I did. And that's all I say to my clients. Whether you believe it or not, try it. If you don't think I'm right, prove me wrong. But at least try something different to what you're currently doing. Because if you knew the answers, you would already have the result you want. The fact that you don't have the result you want means you don't have the answers. So try something new. Anyway, that's just my little rant. I did it every day, every single day that God sends. I did it every single day for 3 months. Some days I didn't think about it. I just wrote them. I just was like, oh, get up, write the affirmations. Just like you brush your teeth. You don't think about it. You just brush them, don't you? Just like you have a shower. You just get up, have a shower. That's it. Like it's autopilot. It became autopilot. I was just doing it every single day. One of my affirmations was, I'm a woman who makes money every week. And the reason for that is because I've been so conditioned by a 9 to 5 that you make money monthly, where my business initially wasn't making money monthly, and it would take like maybe 6 weeks or something like that to make my money. I was like, oh, I'm not good at business. But then my coach was like, your business could make money every week if you wanted it to. But my mind wasn't programmed to even think like that. Like we're used to waiting for money, especially in the UK where we get paid monthly. We're used to waiting for money. When actually, when you have a business, you could make no money for 6 weeks and then you could make money every single week for the next 12 weeks. So there's no rhythm to it. So I wanted my brain to understand that I'm a woman who makes money every week. So that was one of my affirmations. I am a woman who has a story to share. I am a woman who inspires other women. I am a woman who gets paid to be exactly who I am. That's one that a lot of my clients like. I am a woman who gets paid to be who I am. It's just a confidence building one. Those were a few of my affirmations. And I said them all the time and nothing happened. And I kept doing it and I kept doing it and I kept doing it. But the closer we got to the third month, I started to realize, wait, things are really changing. I started to make money every week. And it wasn't just through my business. Random things would happen. Like I would get like a massive refund that I wasn't expecting. Or someone would ask me to do something. Like someone randomly said to me, can you help me write an essay? I'll pay you. I was like, hell yeah. The essay was easy for me. It might not have been easy for them, but I was like, this will be easy. Let's go. I'll help you. They paid me. Someone else was like, oh, I've got some things that I need help with, Adele. I'll pay you. Random stuff that people wouldn't necessarily pay. I said, okay. They paid me. So every week I was making money. It wasn't always through my business, but I was making money. One of my affirmations was, God is sending people, resources, and finances to change your situation. And that's exactly what's happened. People, resources, finances. But it started to happen. I was a woman who was getting paid every week. And I was like, wait, there might be something to this. And what else I realized was because I was writing those affirmations every day, I started slowly thinking differently without realizing I was thinking differently. And I didn't know why it started to work, but it did. Now I know why it started to work. And this is what I'm going to explain to you. If you think affirmations are nonsense, you think it's a bit too woo-woo, a bit too, oh gosh, it's a bit too a bit too out there in the clouds. I want to say something to you. If you've grown up in a negative environment and every day you have parents, you have family members, you have friends, whoever it is, you have someone telling you every day how useless you are, how rubbish you are, how worthless you are, how too much you are. So many people I know that they get told all the time, oh, you're too much. Like you're so over the top. You show off too much. They've heard that their whole entire life. They've been laughed at. You're not good enough. If you've been bullied, hands up over here, because I was as a kid, you know what that feels like. You know if someone keeps telling you something repeatedly, you start to believe it. Listen, I was made fun of at one point because of the color of my skin. I'm black. Now I'm black. That's a fact. That is actually a fact. Like, yes, I am. But it being a bad thing is not a fact. But me being picked on and hit and beat up every day because of it trained me to believe that it might be a bad thing as a kid. Made me feel isolated. If you hear negative, if you work in a negative job and your boss tells you you're rubbish all the time or makes you feel bad all the time, what happens to your confidence? Even if you're the most confident person, slowly it starts to chip away. If we are in negative situations and we are constantly hearing how bad we are, we say it all the time. Kids that grow up in negative environments produce negative results. If kids always feel like they're not good enough and they're told they're not good enough by the people that they love the most, they will feel like they're not good enough. If you listen to that and you believe right now that that's true, you believe that actually if you grow up in a negative environment, if you keep hearing negative things, any woman here who's been in a negative relationship and heard negative things from their partner and people say, oh, I don't know why they don't leave. Because when you love someone and you've heard something over and over again, you start to believe that it is true. If that is the case, then doesn't the opposite have to also be true? And we've seen the opposite in action. We have seen children whose parents told them they were great at something even when they weren't. Those kids whose parents were telling them, you are an amazing singer, you sound fabulous, their family lied to them, their friends lied to them. Guess where we saw them? X Factor. Yes, you saw them on X Factor. They were awful, but they had the confidence of the gods. Why? Because their whole life people told them they were great. Their whole life they heard you're an amazing singer. So guess what? Even though they were terrible, they believed it. They believed it so much they went on national television and sung their hearts out so the rest of us could laugh. How did that happen? How did it happen? Because what you hear affects who you become. And if that is true, if it works on both ways, negative and positive, then wouldn't the same be true of how you speak to yourself? The reason these things happen is because of negative reinforcement or positive reinforcement. And you are negatively or positively reinforcing your subconscious. We, on a daily basis, use our conscious mind. Our conscious mind tells us, run, danger's over there. Our conscious mind tells us, oh, don't do that, do this instead. Our conscious mind is how we cook, clean, because it's up front. It's what we think all the time. But what actually feeds your conscious mind is your subconscious mind. The part of your brain that you don't even know is operating. I will give you an example because I am a woman who is petrified of spiders. Oh my God, I will run if I see a spider. It don't matter how small or big it is. My conscious mind knows that spider can't do nothing to me. Logically, that spider is minute tenth of my size. It cannot do anything to me. Especially here in the UK, we don't have like poisonous spiders, killer spiders, jumping spiders. I have seen a jumping spider guy. I have known someone who got bitten by one. If someone's from the Caribbean, please co-sign and let people know that there are jumping spiders, because people think I'm always exaggerating. But anyway, I'm scared of spiders. I will run if I see a spider. Run for my life. But my conscious mind knows that that's not a thing. The reason I run for my life is my subconscious is what's in charge. Your subconscious, whether you know it, believe it, whatever, whether you know it or not, your subconscious is in charge. My subconscious tells me, oh my God, that spider's going to eat you and kill you. Run. So I run. And I scream. And somehow I think if I scream, I'm going to be safe. Screaming is not going to help me. If that spider really could do something to me, screaming is not going to help me. But why do I scream? Because my subconscious tells me that's what I should do. Your subconscious is always in the driving seat, whether you know it or not. So if negative reinforcement works, if you grow up in a negative environment, if you are bullied and it makes you believe these negative things about yourself, and on the flip side, if you grow up in an environment where people told you that you were great at things all the time, even if you wasn't, you then believed it, affirmations work in that exact same way. They are programming your subconscious to believe whatever it hears. Just like you can program yourself to think positively, you can program yourself to think negatively. Other people can affect that part of you. That's why if you're around negative people, you know how they say get away from them? That's why, because it chips away at your self-esteem. The opposite is true. If you're around positive people, people that big you up, motivate you, you will feel better and you will move better. When you're doing your affirmations, it's not just about the words either. They're extra things. You can say the words and you can journal them. You can meditate on them. Some people can meditate. I was told to meditate. I'm not good at meditating because my brain just goes elsewhere and it's really hard for me to to empty my brain. I'll be trying to meditate and 10 content ideas will come into my head and a podcast idea will come to my head. It's really hard for me. I still try, but it's hard for me. So there were other things I did. I started thinking to myself, if I'm someone who makes money every week, or if I'm a woman who makes money easily, what decision would I make right now? If I'm a woman who has a powerful voice and gets paid for speaking, what decision would I make right now? I started thinking about my affirmations as real life things. They're not just words you're saying. If you're saying an affirmation, what decisions would you make differently based on that affirmation? If you're saying I'm a confident woman who deserves an amazing job, what decision would you make if you are that person? Start making decisions from that place. That's how I started to not only see the affirmations working, but I started to help them along. I also started, when I started writing those affirmations every single day, I started looking for evidence that they were true. And that was something I didn't realize I was doing. I was saying them, I was writing them every day. I was thinking they weren't working. They was getting on my nerves, but I was still doing them. But I started looking for evidence that it was true. I started looking for evidence that I get paid every week. Because I was like, well, I obviously don't get paid every week. My job pays me monthly. So how am I getting paid every week? I haven't made any money in my business this week. But then I'd be like, oh, but I did help Thingy with that thing. And then she did pay me £60. So I got paid, right? I got a random refund that I'd been waiting for over a year. They told me I wasn't getting it. I randomly got in my bank account. I got paid, didn't I? That was £200 that I did not know I was getting. I got paid. I started to look for evidence that I am a woman that gets paid every week. I started looking for evidence that God was sending people, resources, and finances to help my situation. I was saying these affirmations. I was writing these affirmations. And I wasn't saying them out loud. I was just saying them in my head as I was writing them. Some people say them out loud, and it is really good to say them out loud. But I just like to write. And write them out and keep writing them out. I was writing them every day. And all the things I was writing out started to happen. Not because it's magic, but because they were rewiring my subconscious. They were positively reinforcing my subconscious mind. I was writing it every day. So I was reading it every day. I was thinking it every day. I was looking for evidence of it every day. I was thinking about what action would I take if this statement was true? If this statement is true that I'm writing, what action would I take? Those things coupled together meant I was taking better actions. I was making better decisions. And guess what? As a result, all my affirmations were working. Everything was coming true. And times now when I have really big wobbles or I'm worried, the first thing I do is pray. The second thing I do is remind myself to start writing out my affirmations again every single day, whether it annoys me or not, whether it feels like a chore or not. Every single day, just like I brush my teeth every single day, whether I'd feel like it or not, because I want fresh breath. I want the life that I want. I want the career that I want. I want the money that I want. So if that means writing out affirmations every single day, that's what I'm going to do. If that means asking myself, what would you do if this affirmation was true? What decision would you make right now? What evidence do you have in your life right now that proves that this affirmation is true and it is starting to actually work? The way you talk to yourself matters. The thoughts you have matter. I'm not telling you never to have a negative thought. Again, that's not realistic. You're human. We all have negative thoughts. I'm telling you how quickly can you switch from a negative thought to a positive thought? How quickly can you shut down a negative thought and tell it, that's bullshit. The next time someone tells you, you look ugly, you just don't look the way they want you to look. To someone else, you look beautiful. You need to be that someone else first before anyone else will be. Start telling it to yourself. You want to feel better about yourself? Start speaking positively to yourself. If people saying negative things to you can bring your mood down, then the opposite has to be true. We cannot be here and just believe that only the negative is true, but the other side of it doesn't exist. And that is what got my brain to connect to this. That is what made me start to realize, yeah, affirmations have to be real. Saying positive things have to be real because they just rewire your subconscious. They just make your subconscious believe whatever you tell it. Whatever you hear is real. Whatever you believe is real. If you believe you're not good at anything, you won't be good at anything. If you believe you're good at something, you just will be. Whatever you believe is real. That statement is one of the most true statements in the world. Whatever you believe about yourself is real. If you believe you can't change industry because you don't have a qualification, that will be real in your world. I wholeheartedly believe you can change career and make a crap load of money when you do it. And guess what? That's my reality. That's my client's reality because I believe it. I help them rewire their brain enough that they believe it too. I reinforce it through the things I say and the things I'm doing, and by proving it, by doing it for myself. And then my clients proving it to themselves by getting those results. I have not had a client yet that I haven't spoken to and says, we need to start on your mindset. And a great way to do that, a great way to start, it's not the only mindset work we do, but a great place to start is affirmations. If you want to move differently, you need to be different. You need to speak differently. You don't need to be a whole different human. You just need to talk to yourself better. You need to remind yourself of what you're capable of. If you were someone who heard daily, oh, you're too fat to run, or you're too ugly to model, you would start to believe that, right? So you'd probably, even if you wanted to be a runner, you enjoyed running, you'd probably give up on running. You'd be like, I'm too big, I can't run, or I'm too ugly, I can't model. And then guess what? We grow up in a world where we see plus size models killing it and we're like, oh, way bigger than maybe you are, but killing it beautifully, looking amazing. Because they had to tell themselves that even though society is telling you you're not good enough, they are 1000% good enough. You might see a model that you don't think is traditionally beautiful, but she is famous and making a lot of money. Why? Because she believes she is beautiful. What the rest of society is telling her is not her business. That's the truth about affirmations and how we speak to ourselves negatively or positively. The reason some people are an exception to the rule or they break the mold is because they believe they can. It is as simple as that. The reason there are people that grow up with nothing in the poorest countries and make it to Hollywood or make it as sports people or make it in the music industry or become famous scientists is because they didn't keep telling themselves the negative things. Doesn't mean they didn't have negative thoughts. It just meant that they were reinforcing the positive thoughts enough in their subconscious mind. Whatever you tell your subconscious, whatever you tell your brain, it doesn't know what's real and what's not. So speak to yourself better. Have better thoughts. Affirm. Whatever you affirm will be real. If negativity is affirmed in your life on a day-to-day basis, negativity is what you'll produce. You see those people, those horrible, mean people that attract nothing but horrible things. So they've got more things to complain about and more things to be mean about. And those people that are always happy, even when bad things are happening to them, they always have a great outlook and they always seem less stressed. That's why they tell you stress kills. How can stress kill? Stress is thinking negatively over and over again, feeling stressed out, but you feel stressed out because something is happening and then you physically feel negative about it and that goes throughout your body. If scientists and doctors can make the statement that stress can kill, can put strain on your body through thoughts, negative thoughts, feelings, because that's what stress is. It's a thought and a feeling. It's not something that someone injects into you. It's something that we put on ourselves. We make ourselves stress because we overthink things. If that can affect your entire body, then why wouldn't the opposite be true? And I think that's all you need to keep saying to yourself. Why is the opposite not true? If negativity breeds negativity, then why wouldn't positivity do the exact same thing, breed more positivity? So start your affirmations today. They are way more than just words. They are a way to positively reinforce your subconscious mind. Talk to yourself better. Think about yourself better. You'll get a better result. You'll make better decisions and you'll be happier. Anyway, I've loved doing this episode because this was such a random, I was sitting in the bath thinking and this just popped up in my brain and I had to come and quickly record it. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you have a takeaway from this. I've just looked up and seen angel number 777. Had to say it because what? That's just letting you know. If you're into angel numbers, you know what I'm talking about. Say your affirmations, guys. Start speaking to yourself way better than you currently do. Start putting yourself around people that say better things to you. Start thinking better quality things. I challenge you, just like my first coach challenged me, 3 months, 5 statements that make you feel good and are what you're trying to achieve, not just random statements, things that you're trying to achieve, goals that you're trying to achieve. Write them down every single day like you brush your teeth for the next 3 months. Ask yourself, what would I do if the statements were true? Look for evidence that those statements are true. Pay attention. And then come back and let me know how it goes. Drop me a message on Insta, reach out to me on LinkedIn, because you know, like, LinkedIn is my space at the moment. I'm loving LinkedIn. But yeah, reach out to me, let me know how it goes. But affirmations are not just words. They are a powerful tool that can help you change your entire life. See you on the next episode. I hope this episode gave you exactly what you needed and motivated you to confidently take steps towards your next career move. If you enjoyed it, screenshot and share it on your socials, tag me on Instagram, and come join my community of amazing women working on leveling up their confidence and career. Thanks for listening, and see you next time.